Showtime the Hype Man. We're about to start the radio show for those who are watching us around the world, where we've been busy doing so many activities around the world. For those who are about to tune in to watch Philly Hot Radio, and it's Friday, and also it's Father Day weekend. For those who are participating in Father Days where we are very worthy of having a Father Day celebration for all the fathers all over the world that have participated in annual Father's Day. We know that there's a lot of events are going on. People are doing things where we are starting to see the pace starting to speed up when it comes to Father Day celebration. My name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Out Radio. This is my morning show. We have an outstanding guest coming. We have a real estate coach teaching where we're going to talk about where a lot of people that want to get involved in real estate, but a lot of us are not educated or even teach. Tomorrow, we're bringing the co-chairperson Hall of Fame, where the hip hop, where I want to give my main man, Gucci Dan, is coming from New York City tomorrow. The hip hop community, the hip hop strong base in New York City, where the chairperson of the hip hop music industry is coming to Philly at Real tomorrow. It's a great privilege to have a celebrity and a hard-working young man that has worked hard to keep the hip hop community very strong and very positive. They will be live on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work, along with me and Dr. Rock, the host on Philly Hot Radio. It's amazing where we are bringing great guests on this show. That's something that, for those who are true hip hop fans, will truly believe in hip hop, those who have watched Grandmaster Flash, LL Cool J, Run DMC, the Furious Five, DMX, Biggie Small. I can go on and on and on. Even Will Smith in the city of Philadelphia, where so many hip hop community where they took over the industry in the 80s, where just two turntables and a speaker and a voice, where most of them came from the project. So we're going to talk about hip hop tomorrow, the history of hip hop, where the culture of doing different things in the community and not slaying the hip hop industry, where we know that there's a lot of gun violence is what is going on around the world, not just in Philadelphia, but we want to bring something different tomorrow's show live on Philly Hot Radio. Also, it's a lot of shows are going on, there's a lot of ventures going on. I'm so excited. Also, Congress and the senators has passed the bill where I heard my mentor Steve Hardy was talking about Juneteenth, where they made it a national holiday, where we've been under attack 200 years ago, even with slaves was free, that they never passed it on in some of these racist states, where we don't get a chance to talk about the history of races to our children and know that what we've been through, or what our parents been through, our grandparents and generation of the black community. Because we're afraid to organize and bring a closing and educate our children in the future, understanding that as black people in this country, I know that we have got a lot of opportunities and we have gained more momentum when it deals with financial, deal with jobs, deal with opportunity, but discrimination and racism is still in the system of this great country called America. I want to thank Joe Biden, the Vice President Harris, for doing something during their campaign where they made it a national holiday for federal workers and those who know that just like July 4th, Memorial Day, is another day that you'll have off. So we want to give the senators, and what it has been overdue, that black folks are still slavery in this country. When you look around in some of the poorest cities, where black folks are struggling, where we have become more jealous of each other. Even though that we may seem like we are moving in the right direction, but it's always a hidden agenda behind something that passed. We don't hear stories, we don't hear conversations, we don't hear some of the elected officials or some of the pastors and preachers and ministry people, those who are religion leaders and those who are professional leaders. We are suffering in a big way going to 2021, where because the agenda that they had in America against us, where we have become jealous of Native towards each other, where I have been in Philadelphia all my life and I have watched other cities saying the same thing in New York, Baltimore, up in Connecticut and Boston, all down the South, up in Washington, St. Louis, Detroit, Chicago. They are saying the same thing what we are saying in Philadelphia when it comes to black folks treating each other. I have watched over the years that the dinosaurs have been in position for over 40 or 30 years, and those who are black that work their way to get in position where they have never had character and people skills in these positions. They maybe had a degree, or they maybe had went to college for 4 years to gain a college degree that say they qualified for the job. But also we have seen that we have allowed people that be in position that has a toxic behavior and attack spirit, attacking people, judging people, criticizing people, when all of us only going to be here for a short period of time of life. No one is going to live for the rest of their life. But because of the mindset of the black community has not been taught in the last 200 years, but we've been taught to read and write and study to educate ourselves. But what I'm really trying to say, what is missing is a spirituality of learning and building and helping each other. Maybe we are suffering over 200 years. It is a manifest of not liking your own brothers and sisters for no reason. And I'm not saying that my white community, my Latino community, my Asian community, like they don't have a problem with each other, but they learn now us are sticking together. Where we are fighting among each other and getting, it's not even crabs no more in the barrel. We are fighting an uphill battle going into 2026, where they are working behind the scene because they know that black folks have never learned how to stick together in America, across this great world. We allow our credentials and our qualifications that we earned and you have earned to go to school for 4 years and did the study, did the book, did the homework, did your terms, did your study in every exam that you took to get your position in your title and your degree. I want to make that clear for those who are working hard in college, not to discourage any young man or young woman that do want to start a career and go into school. But we have a lot of people in the last 20 or 30 or 40 years have degrees. on their wall can't even get a job, what they went to school for. We're seeing the institution when it comes to schools and colleges where they have marketed as a business where we know that everything is a business. Because of the outreach, and what we have seen has crumbled, where the large institutions of schools have become a money racket. The same thing with prison system. But the difference is that there's more blacks in prisons. We have a guy named Trent Strokes from Winfield section has been in solitary prison system for the last 40 years. Where the crime and the time that he maybe did or he didn't do, he said that, and because he said they made him guilty as a young man at 17 years old when they first found him guilty of a crime where the investigations and those detectives and the judges are not here. Trent Stokes, you do not deserve to do 40 years, an hour a day of solitary to come out to the public. For those with the justice system, we have too many young black men that have been incarcerated. It's too many that have their time, their amends to the public. As little boys going into the prison system at 17, 16 years, getting life sentence. I feel that 40 years or 30, 40 years of their life, where they deserve another chance. Where we got people running around that killed and murdered blacks all their life. Get less crime and less charges. It's time for a change in America. It's time for a change the way we do things as black people in America. Because we don't have loudspeakers, we don't have men and women that really willing to fight justice for our children. We're suffering as a whole in America. We have worked all in our lifetimes to make America beautiful. But I believe that America did not give us justice and treat us right as human beings. Because of the old spirit, the old direction, and the old mindset, the way we do things in America, that we don't talk about. We don't talk about situations. We don't talk about how to make a better future for our kids and our children. Even though Philadelphia is at 260 mayors already. We don't talk about old rundown schools, where the schools are outdated, where the buildings are rotten, the classrooms are rotten. The cafeteria is outdated. The bathrooms are old and littered with germs. Our urine infested. And the Philadelphia Black Water School District, some of the buildings still do not have central air for our kids to break heat system so our kids can be prepared to go to school. Because like the council people of the mayor or the Congress or those who are in rotations. And we know that politicians cannot do a lot anymore. Especially the black ones. We have lost the spirit of fight. When you lose the spirit of fight, our children suffer. Drugs, murders, and institutions get crowded. You see more people on drugs. You see more people losing their home. You see more children that excited about education. When the education has not given us a landmark, when we have people that can read, that can write, but there's no opportunity for our children because we have not built an enterprise and stick to the plan of financial capital to be up there with the big wigs. When they spread money in their community to make sure their children, we do not look out for our kids. We have to look out for our future. But everybody's talking about everybody else, what they're doing. Because my name is Michael Keller, aka Mikhail Showtime the Hype Man, I may not get the support because we don't know who to support, but we know who to support. We are supporting the wrong people. They do not have people skills. What they're all on, they want to do is make money. Of course, I want to make money too, so let me make that clear. But they're looking for popularity, but not helping the community. And that's what we are facing in 21 and going to 22. We're not even listening and reading other books anymore. We're reading the same books, same chapters. And when you read something where it's not energizing you, don't get you excited, we start not caring about life. Where I'm reading a book and I'm studying, a book is called We Was Made for These Times. And life is a roller coaster for all of us, and I just want to send a prayer out to all my colleagues and all my friends and those who have been watching me and those who have been hating on me and those who say that he's nobody. Where we all is somebody. There's too many haters and too many people disagree, where a lot of people have been shattered or really wanted to do something for their life to make a better life for their children, make a better life for their mother. Maybe their mother couldn't go to school, where your mother had to stay home to watch the kids so y'all can have a better life, where a lot of mothers and fathers are not getting the royalty, or then some parents just push you out in the world and never gave you no guidance and structure, where we are seeing fathers and mothers and parents are not even close. But It's important for those who are watching us around the world today on Philly Hot Radio. It's important that we strap up. It's important that what we are doing and what we are trying to aim for, it's important that we understand our mission. We have an outstanding guest that's coming in. Come on in. Where she's been working hard behind the scene around the world, where she want to demonstrate where real estate is all about. She want to talk about her expertise in what she went through as a coaching, guiding people, where she had helped so many people out, where her passion led her in this big competition of real estate.
Thank you, yes.
Where a lot of people want to be in real estate, a lot of people want to buy properties, a lot of people want to be in it for the money for some reason, but also it's important to be there for the community to educate senior citizens where some of their children has never been educated how to start a seed of purchasing a house at the age of 30 years old. Where they're living in apartments, they're living in written rooms, where they don't even know the journey. But we have an outstanding guest where she can talk more. All the masks on. I am masks on for me, but she can wear hers. She doesn't, I don't know. Yeah, we got to set your little stuff up, please. So.
If you're fine with it, I will definitely take it.
I am fine with it. I got a spirit where God has protected me during the COVID-19. I have been blessed by it. Where those who are still struggling with the mindset, see, you want to be in any business, you have to have a great mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Where for those who really want, those who give up, it's a book that I'm reading called Try, and Keep Trying. Where no one is going to get it right the first time, where it may take you 100 hours, days, and time to build this enterprise. So I'm going to introduce our guest. This is a young lady that I met traveling the hallways in one of the buildings. I said one of the buildings that we got. But we are looking for new establishment. I'm always looking for the new. I believe that she's meant for this business. She has a passion to help people, coach people that want to get in. Where Jennifer Lopez is one of my favorite friends, for those who know. And she looks like Jennifer Lopez too, and I don't know where it comes from, but Jennifer Lopez told me, she said, Showtime the hype me. You know why I help so many people? Because somebody helped me. So you can go ahead on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the experts of real estate and coaching, where you really want to know about real estate, call the phone number. The phone lines are open at 484-477-6348. I've been advertising. Anybody know I'm a market genius, because where I know that our community, when you don't advertise, they forget.
Right.
Where you invited some people and they say forgot.
Right.
Where you gave them information to read, they say they forgot. And I knew that you highlighted. So,
It is like promotion, marketing. See, that's like my thing, and that actually was my way of life, my lifestyle before even entering into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an amazing honor to be here.
Okay.
Showtime, the hype man. We don't go into that.
And I want to. That's what it's all about.
It's time, y'all. It's time. See, what happens is, what the deal is, I don't know how this turned around.
It's okay.
We having some technical.
Oh no, we're gonna get that. But I want you to see you. They're not seeing you. They didn't pop it up. Yeah, I want them to see her. There
we go. We got the both.
I ain't the most handsome man, but I'm matching up with her. So y'all know something. I ain't gonna match with. Go ahead and bring that energy. Go ahead.
We gonna be crazy.
Go bring that energy.
No, but yes, you guys. Right now, see, one thing that you had highlighted was, what's going on with our schools, what's going on with our children, with the youth, with the lack of knowledge, education that's out here.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I'm gonna say, you guys, when I got into real estate in New York. Okay,
I love New York. They be in tomorrow, New York too. You know that.
See, yeah.
Gucci Dan from the Hip Hop Hall of Fame LL Cool J organization. That's like LL. That's like Gucci Dan from the Hall of Fame over in New York City. I didn't want to run, but I want your audience to know that the hip hop, if you're a hip hop fan, they'll be here tomorrow with security too in this building.
It is an incredible thing to collaborate, to network with other like-minded individuals that see it. See, because when I got into real estate in New York, the gentrification happened out there within 10 months. Within 10 months.
Wow.
So that means that same 3-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that used to be $1,500, $1,800, in some cases, yeah, in $1,500, $1,800, $2,000, then turned into $3, $4, $5 grand. And I'm talking about within 10 months.
Wow.
So getting a dual license out here in Philadelphia, I said, wait a minute. This market out here is nowhere near too late. It's just that not enough people are in the know.
Come on.
They're not in the know as how quickly you could get your credit situated, as to how quickly you can obtain the down payment assistance if that's what you guys are in need of. See, Super Realty Group is a real estate office in Philadelphia that assists all markets. That means we're not only working with the people that have the 700-800 credit scores and the 15 grand down. We're showing them how to get to the 700-800 credit scores and obtaining that 15 grand down. I mean, how many of us know about lender's credit?
None.
Right? How many of us know about seller's assist?
None.
How many of us know about the first front door? What's up, hype man?
None. Somewhere. Come on, none.
So, my team and I, we're here to be a collective resource, tools, providing the guidance and support to make it happen for everyone and have a shot into being a part of the wave versus getting affected by it.
I want to ask you a question before we get into the show, because we're going to bring you the best, and I'm going to bring the best out of her, where this young, powerful woman of God, her faith, and I want to give a shout out to her beautiful son. I got to say that. So I want to give a shout out to him, where you talked about figures when you deal with money-wise, where it's called the hidden agenda, where they're chasing poor people out of New York. They did it in Harlem 50 years ago, where there's a group of Afro-American brothers came down 50th and Lancaster Avenue, where the whole community is vacant. There's all the storefront from 64th and Landown all the way to 52nd, where because of the education and because of the body amongst the communities, where no one spoke up when the rent in 10 months jacked up. So that showed the leaderships of those who Congress and senators, state reps, understand what they're doing, but they're afraid of their job, and the big willies will have someone to run against them if they open up their mouth.
Right.
They'll have someone to run against them to take them out of their job or go with the program. How can they allow an American when poor people with education and degrees are having a tough time to even pay a mortgage or maybe had credit at good credit one time. Now the real estate properties are so high
Mhm.
when they're chasing us. Where can we go at then? Are we gonna be in the park with all the homeless people too now? A guy at work and people look at think everybody on drugs. Can you explain to our audience about that?
Um, what I'm gonna say, and I'm loving that you brought this up because I'm transitioning into a different stage of coaching so that people can tap into their purpose. And that's literally where all of this derives from.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are living a life where they're just living to pay the bills, living to pay that mortgage, living to quickly get that car, that house. But are we doing it where we're doing it within our purpose? And if you get too out of sidetracked out of it, you're gonna find yourself in a place of lack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you constantly have that mindset, like I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and once XYZ falls into place, then I'll be at peace. Once that money rolls in, once I get that new house, then I'll be at peace. You gotta find a peace within yourself so that the external circumstances, which a nice list, you just highlighted, those are all external circumstances. What's going on politically, what's going on in the neighborhoods, what's going on with the violence. We have to stay away from the distractions and the noise, listening into within oneself.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Once you tap into oneself, all the answers is already right there. Because if in order for you to change the world around you, you have to change you. Be the change. Like this quote, I know people have heard it. You may have heard it.
It's okay. We're gonna do it again.
Be the change.
Get it closer. Get it closer.
But I mean, look. In terms of when it comes to real estate and properties and everything like that, you guys, I really can't stress enough. It's not as difficult as it may seem. See, what's going on is if you had parents like me, we weren't put on credit cards at the age of 13, 14, 15 years old. We were put on cable bills and light bills. So if enough of the people within our communities understood that you can start with our children real young with it, real young, to obtain lines of credit, business lines of credit, buying power, so that by the time they're between 18 and 20 years old, they're not dropping 100 grand on college. They're getting into properties that will then in turn pay for the college.
I want to say something where you want something real big, and I want to thank our audience that's watching us around the world over in London, British, French. I am so grateful for the large audience that is viewing me, Showtime Hypeman, where no one said that I could make it.
Wow.
Where because I'm deaf, where I don't hear people. Where I tell people that in the real estate or any business, you got to have a deaf ear. Where too many people listen to the wrong stories. I want to ask you a question where we have a lot of people that's 50 years old that been in America have never purchased a house. We're going to get honest here on this radio show.
Let's do it.
Okay, good. Well, her nails are looking nice, ladies and gentlemen. Match the shirt. So I did see that. So let everybody know I saw that, for those who know. Her nails do coordinate with her outfit. So don't get that. Yeah. But and it's important that we understand that we have fun on this set. We want to be serious when it comes to real estate and buying properties. Where I'm a street guy. I want everybody to know that I'm not this guy that went to Harvard or where I went a long, bumpy road, but I stayed on a spiritual road along with the road that I took in my journey.
Beautiful.
where I had great jobs. But since I was a single man for a long time, where I never really went for a house, I went for the condos or the house down, the
Right.
apartment down at
The
Society Hill
bachelor lifestyle.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Where so I have never really got into, and I want my audience to know, I'm 59. I look good for my age. But I have never get, yeah, I'm gonna let people know. I am, so, and I got my hairline too. You can see that too. So, I have, be honest with you,
Yeah.
and I've been praying to God where I have never purchased a house where I live in a home, a single home, but I'm renting a nice single home out there in Springfield. I do live in a nice section. I want people to know that too. Where I'm only saying that for those who just like me, where I maybe can encourage some people at my age, it's not too late.
Not at all.
So I want to be honest with my audience where I'm not gonna come here. If I have a lady here as a coach, outstanding real estate, she talked about the things that she can help us. If you 50 and over, 40 and over, this is the lady in her team of people because she can't do it by herself.
I have a team now.
I know you guys say you have a team.
Yeah.
So we got to explain to people about the ages because a lot of people that's 40, 50 years old feel that it may be too late. How can, and they have a 500 credit score when they stay at the 500 credit score because of the crisis. I want you to help them out where I believe your team, and I got a slogan. I put my slogan out there since you had one. My slogan is, without a team, nobody can do it by themselves.
Yeah.
So that's my slogan. So give our audience and those who can talk.
Yeah. So when it comes to look, first off, you're only as old as you feel.
I know that. He did say it. Go ahead.
You're only as old as y'all feel, y'all. Right now, actually, the bulk of my clients, honestly, are like 45 and over. Okay, the bulk of my clientele is actually 45 and over. It's never too late. This is the breakdown at the end of the day of what the banks are looking for. They're not looking at you to be no 55, 58 years old. What they need is for you guys to have 2 positive active trade lines, at least 12 months of on-time payments on deck for each trade line. They need to see.
What is a trade line?
Okay, beautiful. A trade line is anything open and active, such as a credit card, a car note, a mortgage, personal loan, student loan. Not your utility bill, okay? That's not a trade line.
Your light be out.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the only time the utility bill gets reported is if you don't pay. If you don't pay it, then it gets reported negatively on your credit report. So you need 2 positive active trade lines. You need at least a 680 credit score, you guys. I can't stress that enough. Our lender is saying and claiming that they can do a 640, 650. Yes. Will it possibly be a bumpy road into, the home buying journey, being under contract? Yes. At that credit score, yes. So that's why we always really, push at least a minimum of a 680 credit score. And then finally, they need a low debt to income ratio. So that means if you have 3 credit cards, 2 car notes, and that's all you have on your credit, you add up what you pay a month in contrast to what your income is monthly, and that's part of how they determine how much house you qualify for.
Well, let me ask you a question, because we're getting to some topics where it's important that my viewers and those who are watching us around the world, where it's happening around the world, not just in the United States. We want people to know that this is a worldwide radio station where some people, IRS, where most people had only IRS tax money, where because of the high interest rate, where they are slandering poor people on liens, where how can I pay you this certain amount of money when you're charging me outstanding interest rate where now I'm owing $21,000 where now if I go get a house or get a car because of that L word called lien, where people are paying their bills on time, but the lien is still up for grab. Just in case they might think, oh, but this society, it's crippling the middle class people for years. The phones just spin, they got excited. Even the phones get excited. Because we're going so where we're seeing middle class people, people maybe worked all their life, where now they're getting the crunch time with the IRS where they're not aware of not claiming their taxes. Now they got an L. How do they face all these things that you're saying, trying to get a 680 score, dealing with tax, dealing with so many things. And these are middle class people living off of this one job where we know that jobs are slavery. That's what I say. How can we help someone that's 50 years old or 40 years old that maybe not afraid but is overwhelmed?
Yeah. See now you going real deep with it. So that's what first of all, liens. I've seen.
She said you went deep. She said you went like
yeah, because you know what it is? We need to open up the conversation to this level.
Did I bring it up?
There's no we need to stop with the sugarcoating things and seriously, you guys, right now it is literally happening in every city. It's to the point where my team and I are actually traveling city to city explaining this. I will be a worldwide speaker. I am drifting more into that realm of things. Speaking, coaching. I claim.
I'm with her.
I've been right here in this great platform with Showtime the Hype Man is where y'all heard it first.
That's correct. and I'm in trading along with her because she has a gift, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to get back to the topic, but I want to acknowledge her gift. This little powerful Mighty Mouse woman here, where she deals with male in competition, where so many things, but she's on a mission where she's not focusing, she's all focused on her craft and her game. She got a game plan and she's sticking to it. Yeah. So get back into it because we want to know that we heard it from you, and I know that you're fighting in a competition world where they're trying to deny you doors, but doors are opening for you because of your aggressiveness and the knowledge. Also, she's smart too, y'all. So I just want you to know that. So you can get back on that again about the RS thing. That thing is deep.
It's important to know, first off, when it comes to liens can be disputed off. I've seen $22,000 gas liens come off, you guys. IRS issues, look. The current economic structure is in a shifting phase right now. So what I will say is that you want to stay in tune with your buying power. The banks can see that you have $100 grand cash in the bank all day, but let you have a 750, 800 credit score that's actually more valuable to the banks than $100,000 liquid cash. You can get significantly more. You can get a $250,000 line of credit just off of having an 800, a 780 credit score. So while people are over here slaving, like you said,
that's I say that
slaving 60 plus hours a week at their job that could care less about them and the betterment, because I've been there. I've worked at a company dedicated a couple of years of my life.
How much more a year? Go ahead.
Yes, dedicated to generate this company between $120,000 and $180,000 in sales a month.
Damn.
However, they only compensated between $50,000 and $60,000. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. You get
I
it.
wanna-
Yeah, so where she's talking about where the technology and phones, and they knew she was in the meeting, but that's her clients, where it bothers me. I want you to know that. It bothers me where I have not had no one to teach me because I'm a child
Mhm.
of my mother just producing. Where I struggled all my life, where this is a real talk show where we're gonna make, if you wanna engage, I'm a storyteller. Where so many people afraid and front. I'm not gonna front or try to impress no one today.
Yes.
And I believe that I'm gonna tell y'all the story, the journey where I am doing more where people expect me not to do more. But because the financially where I wasn't a genius
Mhm.
or understood credit, and I always been trying to get credit, but also a lot of people, like she said, we work for a living. I like to pay all my bills on time. I want to make that clear to my audience, and those who are watching us around the world. I know that half of y'all would love to pay, but other obligations come along, expecting a 40-hour check or a 2-week check. We're also working 10 hours a day for a company, giving your sweat and tears, and getting programmed to work all your life and for a pension and a social security check. By the time you retire,
That no longer exists.
say it again.
No longer exists.
Wow, go
I
ahead.
have clients.
Come on.
While you was talking about in their 50s, I have a 60-something-year-old client who retired for work. I'm not gonna drop the city of Philadelphia.
Cheap.
And let me tell y'all, his life insurance dropped to a mere $6,000 after 4 years because that is how it's set up. This is somebody that dedicated 20 plus years of his life
For the city.
for the city,
That's all we're gonna say.
ex-military, and dropped down to $6,000 in life insurance. See,
That's a wake-up call.
it's wild. It's wild. You know, I have another client.
Come on.
She is in the medical industry, dedicated over 10 years of her life, and her ankles are so swollen. So swollen. The company does not care. It's like one of those home health aides.
Oh, they way out.
They do not care. They still have this lady working in pain. I'm gonna give you guys an even more, like, let's go all the way forward. Yes. My personal family member works for NYPD.
That's police.
She's been there since 9/11, survivor of the 9/11 towers, and been working for NYPD ever since. After 14 years
14.
of dispatching the cops
14 years.
is when she got a raise. Is when she got a raise.
Oh my God.
And they're not like, able to, like do any strike or anything like that. But it's unbelievable the amount of time, energy, the memories and moments away from the family, friends, those that are near and dear to you for a company or a job that could care less about your overall well-being and everything.
I'm glad you said that. For those who are watching us, where the phone lines are open, we hope that those who are watching us, that this is your opportunity where we know that we're not used to engaging in real estate, engaging in stories, engaging in life issues, where a lot of y'all just sit back and just watch everybody else. But soon we do one thing wrong, that's when y'all want to comment something that I did wrong.
Right.
This where I have watched over the years, where I have seen the community that I come from, they are dying like dinosaurs. But the phone lines are open where we have a expert, a young expert,
Yes, call on in.
And where we want to hear your story or you're struggling, hoping that we can help you today. Where we promoted this, I know I promoted it.
Yes.
So the phone lines are 484-477-6348. Also, I had a real estate guy came from New York City here, where it was a bank, Comet Bank, and my friend named Victor, one of my Spanish friends that I have a lot of them, where he came on the show here, where they wanted to give 100 houses to help minorities where they've been scarful in banks and denying Afro American black men and women homes where what they did a setup shop where a white went in the bank with the same potential, the same credit, where we're gonna get real today. That it's okay, can I do that? And maybe I may not if you have a guest no more, you maybe that where
You don't get me fired.
no, I don't want to do that. My son, because everybody know about daycare. I raised a 9-year-old.
No, but listen, so the lighter person went in with the same credentials.
That is correct.
Then you had a copper brown person.
That is correct.
Okay, and what happened after?
Well, what happened was they couldn't figure out, but the team of the people that was setting up these banks, where the bank was under investigation, but they went in and made a rule where they did it about a month. They did this, where they had a paper chase on what the bank was doing to Afro American people because the person that signs the loans and do all the loans was racist. Where they always found a way to deny the brown person this opportunity application in certain districts in houses where they feel that if a black or my Latino brothers and sisters that with me, when they say when we come in, they try to act like the value go down. That's bullshit.
Over.
Did I say that right? Now I get fired. So you want to fire me?
Well, the beauty of working for yourself.
Yeah. So, can you give us some stories that you heard from people? Because this is a serious matter, and the phone lines are opening where y'all sitting there watching us.
Y'all can fill the call line in, y'all.
The phone lines, and you tell me our teams are expert. No one got a story to tell us live on Philly Hot Radio. The phone number is 484-477-6348. The phone is on.
It's on. There we go.
So good on that.
Hey guys, when it comes to that, so what I'm gonna highlight and say is that my team and I, we specifically provide the resources, guidance, and tools to help make sure and ensure that your experience with real estate is smooth throughout, and that includes most definitely the lender. The lender, if you guys are in need of recommendations of lenders because you have the option to choose any lender of your choosing. What I will say though is, those are the choosing lenders that you do personal banking with do not specialize in mortgages. They specialize in personal banking. So I can't stress enough that it's actually really more recommended to get with a lender that specializes in mortgages. Okay, so we typically work with those lenders that they're about, the structure, the numbers, if it's like a hard money or if it's like an investment loan, they're about the deal. They're not caring about who's the one that's applying. There's not any of that extraness. But there are. I had heard of that redlining still happening today.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm a people person and I fight for little people. And anyone who knows Showtime and Hype Man, I have a passion and I am the voice of the little people.
That's how we collaborate together.
That is correct. Where I am the voice for the people, where we don't have a lot of people that's willing to fight for little people and people that worked all their life and never get a chance of the American dream.
Very few, very few.
And so I want to go somewhere when we're dealing with those who are working people that's making maybe 29,000 a mother with 3 children, the father left, where she's paying all the bills, she's making average of $30,000 down south, where North Carolina, where they're way behind. And you talked about the story of your family member being a dispatcher. That stirs me, that bothered me. Also, I resigned it from a job in the city of Philadelphia, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania courts. For those who know, I'm a politician by nature because of the taste of the new politicians, where we're not getting genuine elected people that's concerned of property taxes, fighting bills for housing, when people lose their job, where these people are on the line all day long, knocking on your mother's door, maybe giving her a cup of coffee with put a little vodka in it, so she don't know, she start feeling a little good, and before you know it, she signed papers. Let's talk about the dirty stuff. We're talking about all this Gucci stuff, where
let's do it.
Where we're seeing real estates and banks are manipulating some of our parents to get second loans. We're seeing where mom maybe not told her children where she took out a third loan when the kids never knew that mom did that. How these stories that are not being told, where the real vicious people that educate people, but then you got some slicksters.
Yeah.
Where let's talk about, because for me,
great example.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the bad stuff. So y'all probably sit on up for those who tune in today, where we're gonna go into this, where we're not gonna talk about the good stuff. This one ain't here. Stuff. It's someone that is suffering right now that been bulldozed into a real estate house. 2 years of bank home, when they put new windows down there and everything, all of a sudden the house was taken from them.
Taken away.
That's good.
And you know what? I can't look. I specialize in working with the first-time home buyers, and I also work with the investors. And let me start off with an example on a first-time home buyer. I had a client approaching his 50s. His mother passed. The property was not put in a will or a trust.
Come on.
This client came to me from one of my lenders and said to Mary, is there anything you can do with this client at all? We need to get his credit situated so that we can get him a pre-approval on time for his court date on that property.
Oh, Lord, here it goes.
Y'all know when that court date was?
Here it goes there, here it goes there.
2 months after, 2 months from pretty much the day that I spoke with
Let's
this
get a story,
lender.
come on, we listening.
That's how crazy. So I said, look, I don't know what kind of magical miracle here that you're trying to get me to pull, but let me see what I can do. This man, when I tell you, he trusted the process, followed the direction, and did everything every step of the way. He went from a 526 to a 726 or something like that, 728 in 38 days.
He went back to 680.
Past the 680. In 38 days. Got the pre-approval, made it to the court date, and only to find out that his own lawyer appointed themselves as executor to the property.
Own lawyer. Bushbash.
His own lawyer. However, because he was, he went to the court with the pre-approval on deck, the paperwork saying that he is now obtaining the property, he was appointed the bill of sale. So it is that real to know what you're signing off on. The man wasn't very savvy with paperwork. I had to like literally meet up with him, do house visits and everything so that I can walk it through like, online. Not everybody knows the paperwork, the sending off the letters, checking the portal to see any credit score increases. So we would do check-ins. With him, I had to do it weekly versus my typical monthly. But he got the results. He was appointed the bill of sale. He was able to save his family's property. With just a little bit of knowledge, you guys, you don't have to worry about your parents or your family getting bamboozled that way into signing off on documentation that you don't even know that you're signing off on.
Wow. I was sitting here and it amazed me where technology, where I'm looking at how we can do things with our phones.
Right.
Where for those who will go out, you can get an app scan. Is that
Yeah.
where also I'm seeing where everything you do now, where they tell you got to email, do this. Now, I'm a youngster in the spirit, but where some detours I might run because the lack, not that I'm leering or lack of anything, where because of the tough challenge in the documents and all the papers, where I'm fighting for the people 40 and over now.
Right.
Where you may have a mate home that knows all that, but then you have a male that's energized where his soulmate don't want to help him. They are contaminated by a spiritual religion where they waiting on God, where in this day and time, it's all about producing new seeds and going a new direction. Where, for those who are watching me around the world, I am Showtime the Hype Man. Michael Keller, aka Mikhail Showtime.
There we go.
I am a man that's on a mission. But I fall short in areas where I should be bigger than I am. Because of the staff and non-believers in society, even I may think that I have a believer with me, don't even see because of the spiritual eyes and the gift that God gave each and every one of us, where we become talking on the side of our neck. Where we go to meetings and boards, where we see them talking on the side of their neck.
Right.
We go to a large room in several meetings and conferences around the world of educating us about the new way of real estate and also the competition of real estate, also the big wealth. Shoes with a newspaper. Shoes with a suit. Every day the same suit with the soul in the whole.
It's real life.
But the meeting. But the people. And finally with the fancy suit and division one education. I want to make that clear to my audience where we're going at with this.
Yeah.
There's so many of us don't have the detour and direction where I don't have it. And I ask God. I say, God, you put me in a lot of position. I pause for a minute for a reading for my audience, for those who are meditating what I'm about to say. And for those who are watching us today, we're here to help you. But we see that the phone line did not ring one time. And you telling me these two handsome people, knowledge people, warriors, We were fighters. We believe in you. You got a 300 score. We still believe in you. And you tell me that nobody called. They were looking.
Guys, y'all gotta call. Y'all gotta call if you have any questions. If you're watching the replay of this, leave the comments and ask away. Cause like Showtime, the hype man is saying right now, we getting real with it.
Come on.
We're looking to help every generation be a part of the wave versus getting affected by it. And like you said too, because you're international with it. So this is happening in every city. This is not just an issue in Philadelphia. Philadelphia just happens to be the 6th largest city.
Yes.
It happens to be the most cost-effective city.
Yes.
It happens to be centrally located to your DC, your Boston, your New York.
They coming.
Your Jersey.
It's coming.
They are coming.
They're coming.
They're flocking over here because it's so cost-effective, but the people from here are having trouble seeing it.
Oh, can you? Oh my God.
They're having trouble realizing what's going on around them because they're so focused on the noise, on the distractions, on the death, on what happened down the block, around the corner, who said what, who did who. Forget all of that. Pay attention to oneself and make the moves to make the decision into investing in yourself.
Wow. What you just heard a Congress, a powerful woman right here on my, very powerful woman. I felt her because I'm a powerful man. Powerful people recognize powerful people. And I'm not saying that because she's right here. I'm saying that because I'm supposed to say this. Powerful men speak highly of powerful women. This young lady is well groomed, ladies and gentlemen, where, and I'm not saying that I'm not a guy, I'm a truthful guy, because I read an article yesterday. I do a lot of reading for those who know I'm a book. I don't read the same book. I read testimonies and stories. Like Bill Gates or Amazon, where he said there's always a beginning to a beginning. So I read again where he was in a little room with a lot of us. She said that what they're doing in the city of Philadelphia, the murders and killing is a distraction. I want to make that clear, and I know it went over your heads because you got your little job. I'm a sergeant for the police force, or I'm a fireman, or all them titles where, like she said at the end, that money and that title only going to use it as a service. I want to say something to our audience, for those who are viewing us, and we also want you to make your comment. Where I know that I'm Showtime the Hype Man on Facebook, where a lot of people are missing the gift that God gave me. I am the blueprint going to 2022. This lady, outstanding, is the blueprint of where she's going at, because she's a mastering listener. See, what that went over their head, I just want to make that clear to you. And it might have went over her.
You gotta let them know, though. Let them know. Let them know.
See, mastering listening. Yeah. Where you're putting up knowledge and think that you're really listening, but you're not on the art of listening and studying. Where repetition. It's easy to do what she do, ladies and gentlemen. It's easy to do what I do, where they telling me, you don't know what we're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gifted, two gifted people here today, and we're giving you knowledge. It's up to you, where y'all have not accepted knowledge going into the 21, for the last 20 years, y'all think y'all getting ahead? Y'all are missing the spirit of humanity. Where they are building this city where it's not going to be no more black city councilman and president. You're not going to see no more black mayors in this city. They are moving in to dominate the elected officials in the city of Philadelphia, where they're going to make the rent higher. Like me in Washington. You can speak on it. I'm going to shut up.
Well, what happens is when property taxes go up, they have no choice but to increase the rent while adding. So, I can't stress enough. Be a part of the wave. Don't get affected by it. You guys, look, if you guys don't already know by now, with Philly Hot Radio, the hype man.
They don't know about me.
Showtime, the hype man.
Nobody's listening.
Guys, he couldn't have said it. It's really not all that easy to do this. I gotta be honest. It's very draining sometimes. It takes a lot of energy to work with those that are getting out of the Section 8 mindset into the homeowner. Listen, seriously.
Seriously.
No. A chunk of my clients are getting out of Section 8 and into their home. They don't want to go through the Section 8 route of getting their property because it's very expensive and dragged out.
Mm-hmm.
However, getting some of the clients into the mindset of staying focused into where they're headed versus whatever the current circumstances are, if it's not favorable and you continue to focus on that, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, we're seeing everything is folding right now, where my eyes, I ride around the city, where I have seen the old run-down schools. I live in a suburban area, that's where I live at, where...
The schools are not run down over there.
No, they're not.
They're not run down.
They're remodeling right now.
The schools over here have asbestos, have mold, black mold. But like, it is completely unbelievable how it's even allowed for them to step foot in the door. There's buildings that the roof is caved in, so the kids can only utilize the first or second floor.
I'm glad you said that.
It's crazy.
We got 15 minutes where we know that we may not.
Have we been on that? Wow.
Yeah,
See, time flies.
We're not worried about the phone calls. We're not worried about the
views.
What we're going to do here, where I talked about the schools, when I ran for city council, I could run for mayor if I wanted to, or Congress.
Mm-hmm.
For those who know that I'm a natural politician, where too many natural politicians don't get opportunity because the fake ones make it and they stay in the same position because they follow the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
When I ran for city council, I was just testing the water.
Okay.
I knew that we needed something different, but I'm fighting a Democrat city where they're used to the committee people, the ward leaders, and the same people in the same old committee, but they give 2 pieces of chicken in a roll and a can of dry soda, give them a ballot. They took a councilwoman that was concerned about her district, the Councilwoman Janie Blackwell, a woman that fought for blacks in this city, and whites, and Latino, and Asian, and African people. Because she challenged the big real estates. A woman beat her had never ran before, didn't have a blueprint about her district, and beat Councilwoman Janie Blackwell. It's a shame. I have been cut off in the city of Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
Where they invite me to nothing in the city. I told the guy, and I told the people in the city of Philadelphia, I have a blueprint to stop fucking killing. I have a blueprint to run the up. I'm sure in the city of Philadelphia. Because of my spirit of leadership. And if I'm suits on, I like wearing suits. I got to pick one up when I leave here. But I wear them now, I'm saving them. where I am the voice.
The voice, the blueprint.
Where God gave me the message. But because I'm a platform of men and women, and I'm way in the city, it's only right now for the poor people, the black and the Latinos.
Where?
Before you go, my coach, you deserve to be the coach of the year of real estate in the city of Philadelphia. Your team deserve a medal.
I appreciate that.
Because she talked about helping someone on welfare. She does not judge y'all.
No, yeah, I don't care about your background. I don't care about what you've been through, what you've seen, what you've done, where you've been. That's not what I care less. I don't even need to know your story. All I care is that you are committed to getting out of the circumstances that you are currently in. Why? Because I've been there. Because I've been a squatter in my teen years in the third floor of a Brooklyn apartment in New York in a hot ass summer season. Okay.
With those water in the bed,
Yes, I've lived in a room. I've lived in the second worst project in the nation.
Come on with it.
In Montrose. And I'm talking, all of this is between 11 and 15, 16 years old. I went to 3 different high schools in 3 different states. So I know what it is to be in an unstable, no security, unknown, constantly crazy environment, shootout across the street, down the corner, around the block. Back then it was rumbles, it wasn't, these really just senseless shootings with more rumbles, getting jumped, that kind of thing. Guys,
come on with it.
That doesn't have to be the reality. So you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I got out of that. I definitely got out of that. I made a decision to say, you know what? I'm going to constantly make the best out of these situations. I'm going to constantly look for the good, for the things to be grateful in that is working out for me. If it's that cup of coffee, thank you for this cup of coffee. This is everything right now. It got the 2 sugars and the almond milk. You know what I mean?
She didn't say that.
I've been vegan over 10 years. But yes, you guys, it's just one of those things where we gotta redirect the focus. And that goes back to, if you're focusing on the current circumstances that are unfavorable, that are suffocating, that are keeping you in this depressive state, then you're going to be attracting more and more and more of it. So I tell my home buyers, don't worry about the shoot down that happened down the block. I need you to stay focused on getting these letters mailed out, getting your kids over to a park that's maybe a 5-minute drive away, and staying focused on the moment of now, of where you're going, of the things that you're doing and accomplishing day after day to get to where you're going. Because if you trust the process and you follow the direction, you will get the results.
I really appreciate you even more where and respect you so much when you told your story and where I'm a great storyteller because too many people give me fake stories where I'm a testimony. Right. When people come on my show, I want to know your journey. She shared her journey where y'all didn't have to know that. Where and that tells me that she got my I can go down the alley with her, she got my back. So what I saw was like me, I'm from the streets. Where I can switch up on. That means I'm nice, very mindful of people, respect people. But when I bring the other side,
watch out now.
Where you get that from? What didn't I tell you?
Right.
So I want to thank you for coming on Philly. I will take a chance with me, Showtime the Hype Man, where I done something right for you to come on my show. I feel that this was a great show where we're trying to educate people about real estate, about the paper chase of it, about how so many people today are still stuck in an old, run-down, conditioned place where you got women that has the ability because of the mindset and spirits. You have to be careful who you meet, who you come around your team. Where if person is starting, I call them shit starters, where the team is moving in a direction, but also talking about them side conversation meeting after the meeting, people.
Right. Right.
Where you had time to talk about, that's what meetings are for, to get everything in structure, to get everything, but also a lot of people are afraid that our leadership, I ran for the president of the board at a board, where I wanted to show the other people leadership. But because I showed leadership, the board was contaminated by the old way of things running where I was trying to bring something powerful to the board.
Right.
Well, they really voted me out because I was running. Well, I knew about votes because I've been on boards. So I know about votes. So I was bringing my people in where I found out they voted me off the board and my people. So that tells you that was jealousy. When all was 7 years older, when we had too many dinosaurs, too many people in position, I don't have young people around me. I mean, not all around me. I want to make that clear to y'all. I'm being honest. Now, what I mean by that, I want to clear for those who are watching us, because I don't want her to lose her 70, her client at 70 years old.
Yeah,
What I mean by that, I want to make that clear, what I want to mean by that, where I'm going with a whole new wave going into 22. And where I'm reading a book going into your 60s. Where's the story, real quick, I'm going to share with a woman that swam it 72 hours in the water, where she trained and prepared herself to do this. This is a true story. In the time swimming in the Pacific Ocean, where snails and things where her mouth was drying up from the salt. But deep rooted in her mind, she kept telling herself that I trained for this. When she wanted to give up, when there was a boat next to her, when they were trying to tell her, once you this, we tie you on and it can be over, she kept telling herself that I trained for this.
Mm-hmm.
This amazing woman right here has trained for this. This is a little girl that was 13 years old in a hot, sweaty room in Brooklyn, New York, where she could have went anyway because of the temptations, the pressure, and everything was there, but God spared her.
Absolutely.
She's on a mission, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. Before we want you to do a closing, because we have about 8 minutes. So I want you to do a closing about your business and who you are.
Yeah.
And also want to thank your company taking a chance. And I know they're watching us, where we are two powerful speakers together, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching two powerful people go at it, where we had no crossover. She got me excited. I know that I got her excited. I wrote some stuff down in my heart that she said, and she probably put some stuff there. See, when you go in these meetings, y'all gotta have that IQ. See, I might not write it down, but I train my memory brains how to dilute what I need to put in, what I need to put out. So, this is your 4 minutes, if you can have.
Yes, look, thank you guys for tuning on in. Check out Philly Hot Radio. It's Showtime the Hype Man is just the bomb.com. Yeah, like guys, my team and I, look, we're a Super Realty Group. Shout out to Super Realty Group. Scenario Club, we all board, community realtor, coach, financial wellness, real estate, strategist. I mean, we're looking to go city to city with it, and touch the people that are interested in this realm of things into getting into the next stage of their life. And it's a difference when you want to work with the people that you know need it, but they gotta want it. So we're interested in working with those that want it, that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, that are ready for the new wave, that are ready for the new generational wealth. Like, let's talk about that. What is people don't even know what that is. And property is part of setting up that generational wealth. So guys, check out, realtortheory.com. I'm on Instagram at TC_realtor. I want to give a shout out to Super Dave, Miss Melody Bazemore, Siren, Jeffrey Combs. I want to just give a shout out to those that have played a significant part on not only my growth, but my team's growth. Because as I grow, my team grows. You was in leadership, so you know. In order to build a leader, you gotta be a leader. You gotta become a leader. You gotta walk into the steps of what it takes to be a leader. That's correct. In order to develop other leaders. There's leaders in each and every one of us. All it takes is tapping into your purpose, into achieving that. And part of what my new journey and direction is showing people that very way. And it's with people like you. I mean, Michael, seriously, like, people on this, tune is it seems like it's far out, like there's like a limited supply of it. So guys, get it while the demand is there. It's hot. It's a limited supply of he and I.
That is correct. And where the piggyback, what she said, where y'all have to have an ear mastering ear.
Yeah.
I want to bring that to your attention again, where she said a lot of stuff, but y'all didn't digest it. Where if you're going to live in 2022, you have to have a mastering, listening ear. Where she did also, your eyes have to have a spiritual awareness eyesight.
Oh, absolutely.
Where she's on a whole new vibe, and y'all better catch up, and maybe you need some new Jordans. I don't know what type of sneakers or sandals you wear. This lady, young, is on a roll, but all she understands about teamwork. Where teamwork is very important to where she's going at, because she's going to be so busy. Where y'all better get her now.
Seriously.
I'm saying that because I understand the way she's going. Even for me, I tell people all the time, don't let me take off without you. See, where I may not get a lot of views because of the jealousy spirit in the community that I come from, where I have been cast out, that nobody watches me, you ain't nobody, where we all is somebody.
Sure.
Because I believe in God and Jesus Christ, my Savior, where I'm not afraid to talk about who is on I'm not a religion guy, but I'm a spiritual guy. I understand between the God I serve, where my energy level is based on the concept of the mindset. So if you see me do a dance move, if you see me do a water, because I have watched other people's successful stories. Failure is success. Failure is success. Trying is success. This was a great show. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. I hope y'all enjoyed our show. I sure did. We'll see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. My main man from New York City. We'll be here live with Dr. Rock on Philly Hot Radio. Whistle while you work. See ya. What you think?